Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. For tonight's Monday Night Football, we travel down into League 2 as Salford host MK Dons at the Peninsula Stadium. Salford have started this season winless in all competitions after 5 games played, but the Ammies were able to collect a point on the road last week as they drew 1-1 with Chesterfield, even after having their centre-half Curtis Tilt sent off with 15 minutes to play. For the away side MK Dons, they have also started slow with 3 losses in a row to start the season, but the tide could be turning as last weekend they were able to pick up their first win of the campaign against Carlisle in a 3-0 home win. This is only the third meeting between these two in the history of the fixture, and the first 2 games were last season MK Dons winning here at the Peninsula Stadium by 4-2 at the end of November, and then also beating them again at home. That time it was 3-1 at the start of March. So for the two teams who need to start picking up form, will it be Salford who can pick up their first win of the season, or will MK Dons start picking up points properly with what could be 2 wins in a row with 3 points tonight? It's definitely a troubling start to the season for Salford especially. This is their first full season under Carl Robinson, who they brought in January of this year, back end of last season, and he's just not quite got things clicking yet. The 43-year-old manager, formerly of MK Dons. He was MK Dons manager for 6 years, from 2010 to 2016, Carl Robinson, but he's come to Salford and he's managed 26 games in League 2 and he's only been able to win 7 so far, 30 points from a possible 78. So something needs to start changing quickly for Carl Robinson, because at the minute Salford just can't quite find the right manager to take them out of this division at the moment. And for MK Dons, they've got a very distinctive style of play under Mike Williamson, and when it works, it looks absolutely brilliant. But if it doesn't work and teams find a way to get around it, they can look quite vulnerable and open at times. Again, they've started slow as well. MK Dons, they've played 4 games in all competitions, started with a 2-1 home loss in the league to Bradford, then got battered away 5-0 by Watford in the League Cup first round, which in fairness, Watford are doing quite well in the Championship, and then they lost away at Colchester 2-0, and then they finally got their first win of the season last weekend against Carlisle at home, a goal by former Salford striker they brought in the summer, Hendry, and then another by Gilby before half-time, and then right before the end of the game in added on time, Harrison also scored for MK Dons. So if there's going to be a favourite, it'll probably be MK Dons, not just because they've won before Salford have, but last season MK Dons finished in 4th position and had a really good season, but just came up against an unbelievably well set up Crawley Town side, and they got absolutely destroyed 8-1 on aggregate in the playoff semi-final. That just shows you when a team susses them out and finds a way to play through this MK Dons side, it can lead to a few, quite disastrous results. But I think for this division, if they can just really build consistency, I can see MK Dons being promoted this season, that's for sure, automatically in the top 3, and I'm sure that will be the aim once they can really get going this season. For Salford, I'm struggling to understand and figure out where they want to go, where they want to be, where they will end up. Because last season they were more towards the relegation zone. They finished in 21st last season on 51 points. The season before that, they finished in 7th, just scraped into the playoffs and were beaten on penalties by Stockport County. So to go from, such a high position, reaching the playoffs for the first time in this league since they were promoted from the National League all the way back in 2019, to then drop so far, and then to bring in Carl Robinson, he's not quite had the effect they would have wanted. He's had a full summer transfer window now where he's brought in plenty of players. There is only 2 players in the starting 11 that he did not bring in this summer. The other 9 players have been brought in during the summer transfer window. And in fairness, it's not too dissimilar for MK Dons. They've got loads of new signings as well, because in the lower leagues of English football, it's rare to find players who stick around one club for so long, because usually it's just 1 or 2 year contracts given. So every year or two, usually every club goes through a little bit of a rebuild, and 10, 11 new players have to come in because they lose 10 or 11 players at the end of their contract. So it is quite the usual cycle in these lower leagues. And to be fair, I'm still a bit unsure on Salford's recruitment. They've brought in some experience, some younger low knees, and they just need it to mix as quickly as possible. And for MK Dons, I quite like their recruitment. They've brought in the likes of Luke Offord from Crewe, formerly Crewe's captain for the last 2 years. Brought in Lawrence Maguire, who was fantastic for Crawley on loan last season when they were promoted. Got Aaron Nemain from Notts County, who's a really frightening winger slash wing back. Liam Kelly as well, who single-handedly got Crawley promoted out of the playoffs last season. He was so instrumental. Also brought in Conor Lemonheigh-Evans from Stockport County on a free. He won the title with Stockport County last season. He played a big part in that title push for Dave Challoner's side. And then also nicking Callum Hendry from Salford for an undisclosed fee. He starts up front for MK Dons tonight. So, both teams have made loads of signings, but like every other club does in this division, and it's just all about who can click first, who can be the most consistent. That's what it is about this division. It's not exactly always being the best team. You always go into lose games, you go into draw games, but it's who can go on those best runs, who can go 10 unbeaten. They might lose a couple in a row, but it's all about having blips, but keeping them as tiny as possible. If you're going to not win games, if you can just go 1 or 2 games without a win and then get back on the winning road, then that's what gets you out of this division. It's just about making sure your dips in form don't, completely derail your season. You've got to get back on it as quickly as possible, and Salford need to get going this season, simple as that. No wins from their opening 5 games in all competitions is slightly worrying. They've played 3 at home so far. 2 of them have been to Port Vale. One on the opening weekend in the league, they lost 2-0, and then they lost to Port Vale again 2-0, that time in the EFL Trophy group stage. They've also lost 2-0 at home as well to Doncaster in the League Cup first round. Doncaster had an unbelievable run at the back end of last season to get themselves in the playoffs, but were beaten by Crewe. And Chesterfield away just got promoted. They've had a decent start as well. So they have had some challenging games. Port Vale have just been relegated from the league above. Doncaster were unbelievable last season. They did pick up a 0-0 draw away at Bradford, which is a good point because Bradford have recruited well themselves under former Salford manager Graham Alexander. And then Chesterfield away, like I said, last weekend to be 1-0 down with 20 to play, and then they went down to 10 men. Salford. Curtis Tilt was given a red card with 15 minutes to play, and then they were still able to go and nick a equaliser. He's on the bench tonight, but Kelly Namai was able to score for Salford to get them a point away at Chesterfield with 10 men is, I think a really positive result, and they've got to try and build on it if they can. Kickoff will be around 3 minutes away. We've still not got the players out of the tunnel yet. I think they are just about to enter the field of play here. They'll be led out by referee Ben Speedy. And here come the home team of Salford and the away side of MK Dons. Salford in their red shirt and white shorts with white socks, and then MK Dons in their home strip as well with the white shirt and the black shorts and the black socks as well. As we will go through both sets of starting 11s here, we'll start with Salford, and they have brought in a very experienced goalkeeper of Jamie Jones. The 35-year-old comes in after they lost their first-team goalkeeper Alex Cairns to Leeds United. A back 4 of Tom Edwards, Stephen Negru and Tyrese Forner. They are 3 new signings in the back 4, and one who's already been here for a couple of seasons, that is Luke Garbett, with a 4 in midfield, and that is Dan Chester, who spent the second half of last season on loan here from West Ham. He's joined permanently in the summer. On the left-hand side will be free transfer from Preston North End, and that is Ben Woodburn, formerly of Liverpool. 2 central midfielders of Osama Ashley and Josh Osterfield, who they've brought in on an undisclosed fee from Huddersfield. And then 2 up front on the left-hand side will be Cole Stockton, who they've also brought in on for an undisclosed fee from Burton Albion, and alongside him is a new loanee signing brought in on deadline day, and that is Francis Okoronkwo on loan from Everton. This is his first ever senior loan spell. And for MK Dons, they make 2 changes from the weekend last weekend when they won against Carlisle. It's Tom McGill to remain in goal. That was his first clean sheet of the season. 3 at the back of a senior debut for him, a first start in the league for Callum Tripp, the 18-year-old born in August 2006, and he'll partner alongside Luke Offord and Lawrence Maguire in the back three. Four in the midfield. At right wing back will be Aaron Nemain. On the left will be Joe Tomlinson, with two central midfielders of captain Alex Gilby and Liam Kelly. And then three forwards. So on the right will be Stephen Wern. On the left will be Connor Lemonhay-Evans. And through the middle will be former Salford man Callum Hendry, who played 79 times for Salford, scoring 23 goals, 9 of them coming in League Two last season. So they are the two starting 11s tonight here at the Peninsula Stadium, where MK Dons travel here, winning the 2 games last season against Salford. It's the 2 times they've ever played each other. Of course, Salford rising through the leagues in the last decade or so. And MK Dons as well, only founded in 2004 as well. So 2 teams who are, fairly new to the EFL in terms of the long-term history, it must be said. But it's going to be MK Dons to kick us off, kicking right to left. It will be Salford left to right here as the Armies look for their first win of the season. MK Dons only picked up their first win of the season last weekend at home to Carlisle. They'll get us kicked off here in the centre circle with Lemonhay-Evans going back here to the central centre half of Luke Offord. Goes to the goalkeeper McGill, and to the right centre half of the 18-year-old Callum Tripp. Forward into the midfield for Lemonhay-Evans, passing the halfway line, attacking down the MK Dons right-hand side. He still carries the ball forward here, tries to play it to Hendry, deflects away, but only as far as Kelly for MK Dons, so they can continue their attack here as they've started brightly here, MK Dons. Tomlinson playing a ball inside, it deflects through for Hendry, then finds the run, and then a shot towards the near post is well saved by Jones. Alex Gill will be the one finding the shot towards goal, and it's a quick start from MK Dons. Well worked down the left-hand side. Tomlinson looking for Gilby. He done with the ball. And then Hendry laid it off to Gilby. And he had a shot towards the near post. It was just about held there by Jamie Jones, the 35-year-old goalkeeper. But quick start from MK Dons, as it's now Salford with their first bit of possession on the ball here with the right back Edwards switching out to the left-hand side, and it'll go all the way through here for Garbutt, getting forward from left back, and he puts a low ball in, which is blocked by Nemain, and it falls to the wing back, and he'll clear it left-footed towards the halfway line, where Salford regain it back here with Stephen Negru at the back on loan from Oxford United for the season. High ball down the right-hand side, deflects up in the air towards Woodburn, loses out to Kelly, and MK Dons bring it forward with Lemonhay-Evans, pulled back there by Osama Ashley in the centre circle, and it'll be an MK Dons free kick. Bright start from the Dons, as they are all about the possession under Mike Williamson, who's now been in charge since October of last year, leaving Gateshead as a ball over the top towards the 18-yard box. Can't quite reach the left wing back of Joe Tomlinson, and it'll it won't roll out. It's been kept in right next to the corner flag there by Chesters. Finds Okoronkwo, who's been dispossessed there by Lawrence Maguire, of course, as you may already know, Harry Maguire's brother. And MK Dons have it back within their own half. Wanted to try and let that roll out there, Dan Chesters, but the ball just didn't have enough pace to go for a goal kick, so had to keep it in, and as a result, Salford have lost possession of the ball here. Just over 2 minutes in, still 0-0, but MK Dons have started the brighter of the two as Callum Tripp, facing his own goal, finds the goalkeeper in the 18-yard box of McGill. Forward to Kelly, and then to the right, to his right there to Luke Offord, beating the Salford press there well, because again with MK Dons they like to play from the back, so any misplaced ball or any running into traffic, and it can be punished rather easily. As McGill has it, the MK Dons goalkeeper not being pressed at the moment by the Armies, as he'll send a high ball forward and behind the defence, looking for Tomlinson, the wing back, who will run into the box but can't quite beat Jamie Jones to the ball. The new goalkeeper already having the captain's armband, as mentioned already, 35 years of age, plenty of experience for the freebie brought in from Middlesbrough. Started at Everton's academy. Jamie Jones. Salford clear long beyond the halfway line up towards Okoronkwo, but it's a header won there by Lawrence Maguire. Does fall back to Salford just inside their own half on this near side with Chesters. Going back to the right back of Edwards, and now into the centre half of Stephen Negru. Dublin-born centre-half, goes to his left to Osterfield, into the midfield. It does look like we might have a Salford back three, maybe matching up the MK Dons system here, Salford go forward, and it's Woodburn to get away from Kelly. Down the Salford right here, going for an early ball into the 18-yard box, and it's a bit too straight hit. Straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper, Tom McGill. The Canadian international was actually in the Canada squad for the Copa America this year. Didn't appear, and he's never appeared for Canada at the senior level, but does get called up to be their third choice goalkeeper as MK Dons bring it out from the back. It's the right wing back of Nemain. Midway inside the Salford half, driving inside. It's a brilliant run. Nemain still not being closed down. He's going to think about the shot. He's now on the edge of the area. Plays it to his left to Tomlinson. 1-on-1 with Chesters. Cuts onto his right foot and then shoots towards the top right corner. And it goes over the air bar and out of the ground. Of course, Salford Stadium isn't the biggest, but it's maybe just been hit a bit too high there by Joe Tomlinson, who had a brilliant campaign last season, the number 14, scoring 7 times in League 2 when he was brought in from Peterborough right at the end of the window last season. So just less than 5 minutes in, Salford 0, MK Dons 0. The Dons starting brighter, but Salford just hanging in there at the moment. It's with Edwards at right centre-back tonight, curling it down the Salford right, bounces towards Okoronkwo, brought to the ground by Maguire, not seen as a foul by the referee, so MK Dons have it back on the edge of the area with McGill, who's allowed to just have the ball at his feet. He is on loan this season, Tom McGill, from Brighton. Spent a year on loan in 2020 at Crawley, where he picked up 4 League 2 appearances, so he isn't exactly experienced at this level, the 24-year-old. As they'll play out from the back here, and he'll be brought forward by Luke Offord on the halfway line. It's Wern going to Tripp, and then back to Offord. It's now with Lawrence Maguire being closed down by Okoronkwo. Played to the left-hand side to Tomlinson. Just can't touches it out of play. As Tomlinson has just been shoved into the Salford bench there by Chesters, who wanted to take the throw in quickly. Referee's just going to have a word with both. And it will be a Salford throw in there. Tomlinson just being, I think, calmed down by Carl Robinson, who was just trying to make sure he didn't go for his own player there, because it was a bit cheeky by Chesters to just push him into the Salford bench. But again, Dan Chesters wanted to take the throw in quickly. Tomlinson wasn't allowing it, so had to get him out of the way one way or another. As Salford have it in their own half, far side, with their number 6, Tyrese Forner, on loan from Derby for this season. Did play 23 times last season for Derby in their season in League 1, their promotion season, as it's into the hands of McGill. As a ball round the corner there by Woodburn almost found Chesters into the 18-yard box. It's Salford, who just the last minute or so have been the ones trying to get forward. But it's MK Dons who currently are definitely the more settled in this game. In the opening 7 minutes. Still goalless though, as Tom McGill's ball goes straight into a Salford player but deflects there. It did deflect as there's a shot there. It's gone early trying to catch McGill out, but he'll be able to catch it there. Almost found Callum Hendry with the deflected kick, but in the end Salford had it back. And I think it was Stockton from in his own half trying to catch out McGill quite far wide in the end, and McGill still caught it anyway. And he'll bring it outside the 18-yard box here for MK Dons, who have got their derby in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks' time. They take on Wimbledon away on the 14th of September as McGill goes long again up towards the edge of the 18-yard box in the Salford half. It's headed away by as far as Hendry, who can't quite control it well enough. It's cleared away by Negru for Salford. As far as Lemonhay Evans. Completes a quick 1-2 with Wern, then forward again towards Nemain. Keeps it away from 2 Salford players. Midway inside the Amis half. On that far side, Nemain to Lemonhay Evans again. To Nemain. Nearly gets beyond Garbutt, but his touch is too heavy. He thought he was fouled by the former Everton left back, but there was no contact there. And it's Salford now on the ball. Very sharp is Aaron Nemain. Scored last season against MK Dons on the 1st of April in that Easter weekend, and was also sent off against Salford in mid-September. Aaron Nemain. As Luke Garbutt throws it to the goalkeeper of Jamie Jones. It's been closed down here by Hendry, and Jones has to slice a clearance away. Will it be kept in by Chesters? It is. Well controlled as well. In a right-back position. Goes back to the right centre-half for Edwards, who curls it up the field. Down the right-hand side. It's had to be seen out of play there by Maguire, as he was being closed down there by Okoronkwo, the loanee from Everton. So Salford throwing deep in the MK Dons half on this near side. Edwards lifting it into the box towards Stockton, who heads towards goal. And that is very wide by Cole Stockton. And it'll be an MK Dons goal kick. But MK Dons only won 2 of their opening 9 away games in the league last season. Started slow, won 9 in the end away from home in 24 games. Of course, losing as well in the playoff semi-final 3-0 to Crawley before losing the home leg 5-1. And started slow in general last season. Of course, they were under the management of Graham Alexander, who was formerly of Salford, but they sacked him in the middle of October and brought in Mike Williamson. And he got them up to those playoff positions as Kelly goes out to the right here to Nemain. Again, midway inside the Salford half, is one-on-one with Garbett, plays it into Wern. It's now back to Lemonhay Evans, who tries to play the ball into the box for Nemain, cut out by Garbett, clears it long for Salford, up towards Stockton, a bit too far past Salford's number 9. It'll drop here to Luke Offord for the Dons. That's now at the right centre-half's feet of Callum Tripp, their 18-year-old centre-half, making his first ever start in the league in his career. He'd played 3 times previously in League 2, 2 of them this season, but they'd been late substitute appearances. Lemonhay Evans has been caught in possession here, and Salford are in the box here. Can they get a shot towards goal? They can, but it's blocked. It was almost there for Tyrese Forner, and the ball goes into the box. It's a hanging ball up there, and it's caught by McGill. The cross put in there by Okoronkwo. And again, that's where MK Dons can be caught out, playing out from the back. When they lose it in those positions, it's almost a guaranteed chance for the opposition. McGill playing it to Lemonhay Evans, who took too long to go towards the ball. Taken off him by Woodburn, and it fell to Forner, who in the area had his shot blocked by Maguire. First big chance of the game, really, dropping to Salford just over 10 minutes in. And they've got the ball again on the halfway line. Forner, dispossessed though by Hendry, former Salford man. It's now Lemonhay Evans who gets the pass away this time, and he finds Nemain once again. Not the first time them two have linked up together. Nemain playing it into the box towards Wern. It's well cut out by Osterfield, but only as far as Lemonhay Evans on the far side. 1-2 with Wern. Lemonhay Evans given all the time in the world here, and he puts the cross in towards Hendry. Header away by Negru. Back towards Lemonhay Evans, who shoves the Salford man in the back of Ben Woodburn, and that'll be a free kick for Salford City. Almost at fault for that opening goal there, Conor Lemonhay Evans, but he was saved by his teammate Lawrence Maguire, who blocked the Tyrese Forner shot towards goal. And if you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. We haven't got any commentaries coming up until after the international break. The next one will be Bournemouth-Chelsea, I believe. I'm not too sure if that's right, actually. I'll have a look. I think I've changed it. As it is Salford attacking. Okoronkwo bringing it forward here and crossing it into the edge of the area where it's just gone beyond Stockton and Garbett. But Garbett will keep it in on the far side. No, he won't keep it in on the far side. It's a throw-in for MK Dons. Just needed a bit of a better ball there by Francis Okoronkwo, who just played it behind both Stockton and Garbett. Needed to be more in front of them into the 18-yard area. As MK Dons build from the back in their defensive third here with Liam Kelly. Tripp, great ball forward to Lemonhay Evans, who needs to charge forward, and does just that because he has got Ashley chasing him from behind. Has now worked it to Nemain on the halfway line on that right flank for the Dons. Again, giving time just to find a pass, and he goes to the central centre-back of Luke Offord, who's been brought in on a free from Crewe in the summer. Rejected a new contract from Crewe to join MK Dons. Played over 80 times in this division, Luke Offord. Only 24 years of age as well. Turns 25 towards the end of November. As he's got it on the edge of the 18-yard box here, goes to his goalkeeper of Tom McGill. Former England under-20s international Tom McGill, but now has decided to represent Canada on the international level as he clears it long again, but no one in a white shirt's chasing that one down. Straight into the gloves of the Salford captain for tonight, Jamie Jones, who throws it out to the left centre half of this back three, and that's Osterfield. Now into the 18-yard box to Negru. Then to Jones again in the 6-yard area. Finds Edwards. Down the line it goes. It's a lifted ball towards the halfway line, towards Okoronkwo, who will control it, and he lifts it out to the left towards Stockton, again just slightly behind him, and Stockton has to slide in, and he wins the ball, and it last comes off Nemain, and that'll be a throw-in for Salford City. No, it's not. Wow. Throwing for MK Dons. I thought Nemain got the last touch there, but the referee has gone the opposite way again. Okoronkwo with that pass. He did a cross before which went behind Stockton and Garbutt, and that time the pass just went behind Stockton, but Salford have won it back here. Good midfield work by Forner on the left wing. Playing it back here to Garbutt. He wants to cross, goes to Forner again. Then back to Garbutt, midway side the Dons half, and he goes towards the halfway line now. Osterfield to Negru. The 22-year-old centre-half. Edwards on this near side. He finds Chesters with a bit of time. Goes towards the halfway line again here to Ashley. Left centre-half of Osterfield. It's now Forner. Back into the Salford half to Osterfield. Good pressing here from MK Dons, but it's well moved around by Salford. Up towards their forward players. It's now in the back three again with the right centre back of Edwards. Woodburn uses Chesters, then back to Edwards, who's forward from the back three, and he crosses into the area which deflects to the near post and collected by Tom McGill. Just over 15 minutes in it. Oh. But as I was about to say, just over 15 minutes in, and it's still 0-0 here. So MK Dons having more of the possession, but Salford have got, seems to have gotten more into the final third. MK Dons not quite getting as many shots away as they probably would have liked so far for the possession they've had. Salford have got it in the centre circle with Forner playing it forward in between the lines. That's a brilliant ball. Woodburn trying to get it to Okonkwo, who I think's offside. The flag stays down on Okoronkwo. And he plays it back to Garbutt. Left-footed cross goes in towards Chesters. Defended there well by Tomlinson. And it's now with MK Dons. Hey Evans giving it away. Can't find Hendry up front. But then Negru gives it straight to Wern. Gets beyond one challenge. But then runs into the second of Ashley. Who gets it forward to Woodburn in the central area. Ben Woodburn onto his right foot. 25 yards out. Played to the right side of the box. And it almost finds Chesters. But again, well defended that time by Lawrence Maguire. And then MK Dons can attack. Hendry playing it into the space here towards Gilby, but he can't quite reach the captain on the edge of the area. Well defended there by Osterfield. And Salford clear it, but only as far as Kelly in the Salford half. And it's now MK Dons on the ball. Centre circle, Lemonhay Evans. He's now back with Luke Offord, the central centre-back. He'll bring it forward into the Salford half. And he plays a pass into Hendry, now out to the right to Lemonhay Evans. It's now with Nemain. The number 16 for MK Dons. Back into Lemonhay Evans. Then to Nemain again. Being closed down by Garbutt. Goes back to Lemonhay Evans. And it's now into the halfway line here with Luke Offord. Good pressing from Salford, forcing them back here. It's now with the goalkeeper, who's midway inside the MK Dons half with the ball. Not being pressed at the moment. Took the number 1 shirt for MK Dons, Tom McGill. The loanee. Born in Canada but moved to England at the age of 4, Tom McGill. Hence why he has represented England on international level at the youth system, but is now chose Canada. Again, another long clearance by the goalkeeper, headed away on the edge of the area by Edwards for Salford. Helped on once more. Can't be kept by Woodburn. Kicked up into the air by Offord. Headed away by Edwards. Helped on. And it drops here to Okoronkwo, who's tackled fairly there by Lawrence Maguire. And MK Dons once again have the ball back within their own half here with Lemonhay Evans. Going back to the goalkeeper of Tom McGill. As it is their usual system. The back three. For MK Dons, it's the only formation they played last season under Mike Williamson, but it looks like Salford are going to match them tonight. Not something that Salford usually play, a back three. As it's Liam Kelly in the midfield. For MK Dons was so good last season for Crawley. Only spent a year at Crawley when he got them promoted to League One via the playoffs. But moved on. Spent a couple of years at Feyenoord as well. Liam Kelly. Spent on loan a couple of times, but did make 2 appearances for the first team. MK Dons new number 10. Scored against MK Dons in the playoffs. Liam Kelly. Still MK Dons in their own half, just keeping the ball, keeping it away from the red shirts of Salford. There's McGill. High ball out towards the halfway line. Gilby can't flick on. Picked up by Chested, lifted down the line towards Okoronkwo. Diving header away by Maguire, and it's a throw in on the halfway line for Salford on this near side. As these two sides have had a full 9 days to get ready for this one. Both previously playing on the 24th of August, the Saturday kickoffs. Salford have it right centre half here. Edwards playing it into the midfield here. It's a nice ball inside here to Asama Ashley, who goes beyond the halfway line with the ball. Looking for options. He's still going here. Back heels it into Chesters. Kicks it off Alex Gilby. And that'll be a throw-in for Salford, midway side the MK Dons half. Carl Robinson wants play to be quickened up here. He wants it to be just a little bit quicker. Go up the gears now, Salford, as they've grown into this game after MK Dons were straight into their style of play within the first couple of minutes. As it's with Tom Edwards, former England under-20 international. Into the MK Dons half, plays it down the line to Chesters, heavy touch into the middle of the park, and it's given away there. Well, then won back by Ben Woodburn. Gilby just not quite able to get the ball out of his feet there for the Dons. And Salford can start from the back here with Stephen Negru. Came through at Shelbourne in Ireland before leaving for Oxford in January of 2023. He plays a pass out wide here to Woodburn. Lays it back here to Edwards. Salford's number 2, who spent 2 loan spells at New York Red Bulls from January to December of 2021, then returned in the February of 2022 until the August. So, not just played his football in England, as MK Dons thought they'd won it back in a great area, but Chester's bundled to the ground from behind there by Joe Tomlinson, so it will be a free kick for Salford. Because if the referee didn't see that as a foul, that would have been MK Dons with the ball on the edge of the Salford area. And I think Callum Hendry wasn't happy with the referee's decision there, and he's just getting told just to relax by the referee, Ben Speedy. Salford have a free kick, and they've gone back to the edge of the area for Negru. 6'1" centre back, rather tall. The youngster plays it to Edwards, lifting it beyond the halfway line, looking for Woodburn, but he won't quite reach it ahead of Offord. But then a tackle there on Kelly by Ashley. But he flex into the MK Dons 18-yard box with Maguire. Going back to the goalkeeper, McGill. First time clearance. Not gone very far. Headed forward for Salford, but headed away for MK Dons by Offord. Then headed back forward for Salford by Osterfield. And the main tries to deal with it. Deflects it into the midfield where MK Dons can break away with it. Kelly finding Wern on the right side. Lemonhay Evans trying to return it to Wern. But cut out on the edge of on the halfway line there by Asama Ashley. And it's well won back there for Salford. And they've got the ball in their own half. Quickly getting it into the MK Dons half here with Okoronkwo. Tackle by Maguire. Kept in by Tomlinson. Onto the halfway line. Gilby tries to chop away from Forner. Can't quite do so. Brought down and a free kick's given. Taken quickly by Kelly into Lemonhay Evans. And MK Dons don't want to slow this game down at the moment. They want to try and get a decent chance at goal here. Not something they've had as Nemain works it down the line to Wern. Towards the byline. Can't get away from Osterfield. Goes back though to Nemain. In the final third here for MK Dons, Nemain running at Garbutt into the box. Puts a low ball in for Hendry and he puts it wide. The former Salford City striker probably should have put the Dons 1-0 up there. Brilliantly found by Nemain, who quickly worked it onto that right foot and just put a low ball in through the legs of Garbutt, and from around 8 yards out, no one tight enough to the MK Dons striker. And he was allowed to get a shot off at goal, and a couple of yards wide in the end of the far post. He'll expect better from himself there, Callum Hendry. And it remains Salford 0, MK Dons 0 after just 23 minutes played. Yeah, he'll be kicking himself, I think, if he sees that one back. As Woodburn gives it away for Salford in his own half. A header inside, didn't find a red shirt. It's now with Liam Kelly. Goes to his left to Lemonhay Evans, returns it to Kelly. Now out wide right here to Nemain, who's already caused issues for Garbett just in the last attack, but that time Garbett wins the tackle and brings it forward for Salford. About 10 yards away from the halfway line, plays it forward into the MK Dons half, where a poor touch by Callum Tripp plays it out of play. And that'll be a throw-in for Salford in the MK Dons half on the far side. Luke Garbett starting again with the throw-in here to Osterfield. Brought in on a free for Salford this transfer window, for an undisclosed fee, from Huddersfield. Brought in on a 2-year contract. There's a big switch out to the left for Salford. It's controlled by Stockton. That's a brilliant piece of control, and then a shot to the near post is comfortably saved there by Tom McGill. The first part of that was unbelievable by Cole Stockton, the 30-year-old, bringing that diagonal ball down, killed it dead. Scored twice against Salford last season, Cole Stockton, in a 5-3 defeat here at the Peninsula Stadium whilst he was on loan at Barrow. As McGill goes long for MK Dons, controlled by Edwards, drops to Chesters to the halfway line here, can't quite find Okoronkwo, cut out there by Maguire, and the ball slipped down the left-hand side. It will reach towards Tomlinson, but it's cleaned up there by Negru towards the corner flag, who can clear. High ball once again. Header won by Maguire, as far as Chesters, who keeps it in on the near side for Salford. Goes back here to Edwards. Clears it. Knocked to the ground, though, as he did. And that'll be a free kick for Salford. Just a bit heavy on the challenge there. Callum Hendrick bringing down Tom Edwards. So just 25.5 minutes in. Still 0-0. Salford have got it from the right side, playing it over to the left there to Josh Osterfield. He plays it in behind, but can't quite get in behind Nemain, but he's touched it straight in front of Garbett, who takes over in the area. Garbett shoots, it's blocked, and it'll drop to Liam Kelly, who plays it into the path of Lemon Hay Evans, who gets into the centre circle. Lemon Hay Evans has got options out to his left, and he'll release it here to Gilby. Just slows it down, though, the captain, as Salford get bodies back. His MK Dons, though, still on the attack here. Tomlinson found by Maguire. Tomlinson back out wide left here to Gilby. And then to Tomlinson again. Forward for the runner Kelly. Brilliant football from the Dons. Looking for Hendry. Tackled, though. And Salford can work it forward. It's back with their goalkeeper in the end with Jones, who will clear it first time. It's high up into the sky, into the centre circle for Stockton, who controls it again brilliantly. Keeps it away from Levin Hay Evans and finds Osama Ashley. And it's Salford back in possession with Josh Osterfield, who was on loan at the back end of last season. Well, for the whole last season with Crewe. Lost the playoff final against Crawley. There's Edwards. Another long ball for Salford. It's going to be held up here by Okoronkwo, who will feed it into Woodburn and then back to Okoronkwo. Woodburn again in the final third, just outside the 18-yard box. Woodburn bullied off the ball too easily there. And it's cleared by Offord, who won it back towards Hendry. Is he bundled to the ground by Negru? No, he's not. Referee doesn't give anything. The MK Dons bench not happy with no decision there. But it's Salford back on the ball. I quite like the way MK Dons can mix up their play as well. They've gone, short plenty of times, playing out from the back, but they can also go long. It's not worked necessarily, the going long so far, but it's just good when you can have two different styles of getting the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. As Okoronkwo's header goes behind the runner Chesters. Now plenty of space in the midfield here for Lemon Hay Evans, who in the centre circle. Not got many options around him in fairness, but he can get away from Osama Ashley, who's not usually an easy player to get beyond. Gets it into the middle of the park here for Wern. 22 yards out, left-footed shot, blocked by Negru. Headed backwards by Woodburn into Ashley. It goes to the goalkeeper, Jones. Taking no chances there. First time clearance. It's a high one out to the Salford left, controlled by the Chester Garbett on halfway. That's brilliant again. Salford definitely working on their first touches. As it's now in the midfield for Ashley. Caught in possession by Gilby. Now Liam Kelly to bring it forward for the Dons. Liam Kelly try to play it into the box for Hendry, cut out by Salford's defence. And then it's now played forward in the end by, I believe, that was Negru into Woodburn. And then again Okoronkwo losing out the young striker, just struggling at the moment to keep the ball for Salford. As Gilby, being forced away by Edwards, plays it to his right here to Wern. And now 10 yards in the Salford half. It's with Aaron Nemain. Spent 7 years coming through at Manchester City. the French wing-back, now 26 years of age. Played over 100 times for Notts County, his previous club, being promoted with them from the National League. It's now on this near side here with Maguire. Forward to Liam Kelly, midway inside the Salford half. Everyone behind the ball for the Ammies. It's with the central centre-back of Luke Offord. Scored once last season for Crewe from the centre-back position in late November against Doncaster. Was injured though for the back end of last season. His last appearance last season was back in mid-February, so he missed the playoff running for Crewe. And he was a big loss for them, captain for the last 2 years of his time there. Still with MK Dons in the Salford half, out to the far side, it's in the main in the final third, but doubled up on here. Goes inside to Wern, wants the 1-2, but it's cut out by Garbutt, who clears it behind for a throw-in for MK Dons. Getting rid of any danger, but again thrown to Nemain. Garbutt's quick to try and get the ball off him, but he can work it back to Lemonhay Evans, who wanted to cross. He'll go short instead to Wern. Now down the line for Nemain. Time for a cross. He'll put a low one in. Controlled by Tomlinson. Left-footed shot towards the near post. And Jamie Jones can get down quick enough to stop the ball from going into the back of the net. It's a well-worked opening, though, by MK Dons. Again, Nemain causing issues on that right wing-back position with these low crosses into the box. That's twice now he's created good opportunities. The Hendry one went wide. That Tomlinson one was on target, but straight at the goalkeeper in the end. And just over half an hour played, it's Salford 0, MK Dons 0. Both teams who are quite low in the table. Salford 21st in the table with 2 points from their opening 4 league games, and then MK Dons currently in 18th before today started with 3 points. Losing the opening game at home to Bradford, then losing the second game away to Colchester, but winning that game last weekend to Carlisle, 3-0. Salford go long towards Okoronkwo, can't quite find a red shirt of his touchdown. MK Dons clear it forward, comes off Hendry, back into the centre circle to Kelly. Lifted ball towards Wern. Can he get there ahead of Osterfield? No, he can't. Cleared away, but not very convincing, as far as Lemonhay Evans, who goes again towards the right side to Wern. Back to Lemonhay Evans, just outside the area. He's got Forner in front of him from Salford, so can't really advance on his own here. Finds the wing-back of Nemain again into the area for Wern. Goes down over the challenge of Osterfield. Nothing given by the referee. Seen as a clean challenge, and Salford can try and counter-attack it. With Luke Garbutt finding Stockton, then back through for Garbutt. Brilliant 1-2. In the final third, Garbutt enters the box on the left-hand side. Low ball goes in, and it's cleared away by Offord. Straight to Nemain. He was aiming for Okoronkwo, but it was good defending by MK Dons number 17. And they go long this time, the Dons, towards Hendry. Header won by Negru. Poor touch, though, by Edwards, but another heavy touch by Gilby. And Salford just about survived that slight scare at the back. Gilby usually has a better touch than that. MK Dons captain. Had a brilliant season last season. Got his best ever goals tally in his career for one season. He got 13. Alex Gilby in the league with 10 assists. Joined back here last season on a free from Charlton. Was here for 3 years from 2017 to 2020. Now has the captain's armband for tonight. Salford have it near side in their own half with Edwards going back to Negru. And then back to Jamie Jones, the very experienced goalkeeper. Playing a high ball out to the Salford left beyond the halfway line. Looking for Stockton. Again, the touch is decent and he can slide towards it and kick it back to Ashley on halfway. And then forward to Forner. He's got Garbutt to his left and he'll find him in the final third. Time to cross it here, first time. Volleyed away though on the edge of the 6-yard box by Offord. But then back forward for Salford by Osterfield. It's now with Tom Edwards. Out wide right it goes to Chesters. He's going to run towards Tomlinson, drives inside and plays a ball to his left to Osama Ashley. Now out left once more to Forner. Ashley's free again in the middle of the park and he'll find the number 4. Back out to the right side here to Edwards. On once more to Chesters, everything to his left. Goes to Woodburn, then back into Edwards. All build-up play in the MK Dons half as Edwards goes for an early cross into the box. It's well caught by McGill, who quickly rolls it out to Lemonhay Evans. Not much on for him going forward. So he goes back to the right side here to Nemain, then back once more to Callum Tripp, who by the not the last MK Dons manager, but the one before that, Liam Manning, who's now at Bristol City, he labelled Callum Tripp, the right centre-half tonight for MK Dons, as having high potential. because he was first placed on the bench for MK Dons when he was 15 years old back in November 2021. Callum Tripp was put on the bench, didn't appear, but was on the bench, and that is ridiculous to have that, kind of stat to your name, being put on the bench at the age of 15. But he's clearly been, well trained here at MK Dons. They clearly see a bright future for the now 18-year-old centre half. Thanks to everyone who is here. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do. So Salford have the ball in their defensive third here. Negru is going to go to the goalkeeper of Jamie Jones, who didn't play any games last season, whilst at Middlesbrough, where he's on the bench 19 times. Has won 2 League One titles, though, with Wigan, back in the 17-18 season, where he played 15 times in that campaign, then in the 21-22 season, where he didn't play, but was the backup goalkeeper. It's Edwards forward from centre-half, crossing it into the box here for Salford. It's almost won by Okoronkwo, but instead it's Offord who has to head behind for a Salford corner. Be their first of the game. He is rather tall, the new Salford striker. They brought in on loan from Everton, Francis Okoronkwo. Started at Sunderland, born in Blyth. And yeah, challenging for the header, but he's offered to win it. But 10 minutes left of the first 45. Still 0-0 here at the Peninsula. Plenty of MK Dons fans behind the goal that Salford are currently attacking here to our right-hand side. That's a high ball to the edge of the area, delivered in by Woodburn. Drops to Forner, who goes to the far side now, where he's one-on-one with Kelly. Gets a left-footed cross into the box here. It's not dealt with by MK Dons. Drops towards Osterfield, but cleared by Nemain past the halfway line. Back here for Jamie Jones. Need Bennett in the book. But yeah, we've not had any bookings so far. I've had a few talkings too, but no cards out of the pocket yet of Ben Speedy, tonight's referee. Salford are once again on the ball with their goalkeeper Jamie Jones. High ball into the MK Dons half. Again, touchdown by Stockton for Garbutt. Then round the corner on the left-hand side, looking for Okoronkwo, but he can't quite find him. And it'll go out here for an MK Dons throw-in. But they had to bring in a new goalkeeper this summer, Salford, because their previous one, who was also the captain, Alex Cairns, left for Leeds United. So they needed to bring someone in, and that's who they've got. They've got obviously Jamie Jones in goal tonight, but they've also got Matt Young on the bench, who is very young, pardon the pun, but he's 17 years of age, and they've got him on loan from Sunderland. Had interest from Notts County, but he decided to join Salford instead. He's featured off the bench once for the England under-19, so clearly seen as a really exciting goalkeeper, Matt Young, but not quite breaking into the Salford team yet in the league. There's a high ball down the right side here. Will be kept in by Okoronkwo towards the byline, just outside the 18-yard box though, forced away by Offord. Plays it back to Edwards, who can touch it and then cross it into the far post where Garbutt wins the header. And over the bar it goes from that 6-yard line. He probably feels he should have done better there, Luke Garbutt. Probably, wanting to at least get it on target. It was a good ball by Edwards, who wasn't closed down quick enough by Alex Gilby. And at the far post, Garbutt beating Nemain to the header. And again, just got the top of his head on it. And it sailed over the crossbar in the end. But I think both sides will be rather pleased with how the first half's gone. And I wouldn't say either of the two teams have played poorly. I wouldn't say either of the two teams have played fantastically either. But they've both just been okay. And it's just absolute even Stevens with the stats as well. 5 shots each, 2 on target each, with 50% of the possession each. So like I say, yeah, pretty even game so far. And it feels like that as well so far. But like I said, MK Dons did win the 2 fixtures between these two last season, winning here 4-2. We had plenty of goals. None so far at the moment is McGill again going long for MK Dons, but it's over the head of Gilby. And it's a Salford throw-in. Midway inside their own half on this near side. It's despite managing MK Dons for 6 years, Carl Robinson, the current Salford manager, has faced MK Dons 14 times in his managerial career, beating them 5 times, but he hasn't beat them in any of the last 3. Unfortunately, when he's faced them, it's Stockton. Loses the ball to Tripp, and then Wern brought to the ground there, and that'll be a free kick for MK Dons, just fouled a bit too heavily there by Osterfield. And it will be a Dons free kick just inside the Salford half on the right-hand side. Be taken by their new number 10, Liam Kelly. Former Ireland under-21s international. As they have sent some bodies forward here, but Kelly will just lift it out to the halfway line here to Offord, who will then bring it forward for MK Dons. Doesn't want to advance too far, has to play it back in the end to Tomlinson. It's now Lemonhay Evans, who's just filling in that hole at the back for the advanced Offord, and then he'll bring it forward himself here, Evans, pulled to the ground by Woodburn, but not seen as a foul by the referee, and it is Salford to break. Ashley bringing it forward on the edge of the area, tries to go to the left, but he should have probably gone on his own, and his pass wasn't good enough. Kelly brought to the ground on the edge of the box, and that'll be a free kick for Salford. Got to be doing better with that. Osama Ashley, who did brilliantly to win the ball on the halfway line, and the pass out to the left-hand side just wasn't where it needed to go. And MK Dons will now come forward. Wern completed the 1-2 with Nemain, who's now in the box. He's got a chance to shoot. Nemain with the strike straight at the goalkeeper. Still alive for MK Dons here, where it's Wern who's been tackled and played forward and out to the left for Salford, and it could go from defence to attack. Within seconds here, Luke Garbett on the left-hand side, wanting the early cross, and he'll put it into the far post for Chesters. Brings it down towards the byline. Low ball in, and it's straight to the feet of Offord, who just lifts it, to Maguire, who lifts it forward for Gilbert. Now Tomlinson to the edge of the area here to Liam Kelly. And a big chance there for MK Dons as Kelly looks for another ball in behind here, this time for Wern, to overhit in the end and into the gloves of Jones, who throws it out to the Salford right. Should have scored there, Aaron Nemain. We got 8 goals in this division last season, so we can find the back of the net. But that time he just hit it straight at the goalkeeper as he entered the area. It was a brilliant 1-2 between Nemain and Wern. As it's a Salford throw-in on the halfway line on this near side. It will be taken by Tom Edwards. Yeah, just a simple pass and move play from Wern and Nemain, and as he, the angle's rather tight, but he's gone, I don't know where he's tried to hit it. I don't know if he's gone near post or far post, but he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper. And it's MK Dons back on the ball, midway inside their own half here with Offord into Kelly, being closed down here by Ashley. Fires it to the left to Maguire, on once more to Tomlinson, round the corner into a more central area for Hendry. Loses out to Osterfield. And it's now forward to Stockton. Out to the right here to Okoronkwo, who wants to go forward. He will go forward, giving space to shoot, and he goes beyond Offord. Okoronkwo with the chance to score, and on his Salford debut, he gives the Amis the lead. That's a brilliant run from the Everton loanee, who on his senior debut has scored a quite magical goal here at the Peninsula Stadium. It's been a very even first half. And it's Salford who have just edged themselves ahead just before the break. They won it on the halfway line. It was a header forward and the ball dropped to Stockton, who had to battle with Lemonhay Evans to keep it. Worked it to the right side to Okoronkwo, who was just allowed to go forward with the ball, not being closed down enough until the edge of the area where Offord dived in. But Francis Okoronkwo, with just a simple touch inside on his right foot, and then he had it on his left, and again, he almost couldn't believe the time he had on the ball. And from just inside the 18-yard box, he curled it with his left foot towards the bottom left corner, slight touch off the goalkeeper's glove, but not enough to turn it behind. He's turned it onto the post and then into the back of the net. And just before half-time, Salford grab a lead against MK Dons. And on his senior debut, and on his Salford debut, Francis Okoronkwo gives the Abbeys the lead. It's 1-0 to Salford. Brilliant goal. Too easy from an MK Dons point of view, that's for sure. But it's his first ever football away from the youth system for Okoronkwo. He's played 49 times for Everton's under-21s at the age of 19. And obviously this season they've seen it as a time for him to possibly go and get some, men's football under his belt. And this is his Salford debut, brought in on loan towards the deadline day. And he's got his first goal. And it's a brilliant one as well with his left foot. And Salford have a lead, back underway. A minute until with it, minute 45. Salford have it midway inside the MK Dons half. In a central area here with Ashley. Keeps it moving to Fauna. Got Garbett just behind him to his left, and he'll play it to the Salford number 29. Gets the return here from Osterfield. Garbett inside to Woodburn. Tries the first time pass to Stockton. Gets it back off trip though. Couldn't clear it very convincingly for MK Dons. Fauna goes back into his own half here to keep it with Osterfield. And then into the central centre-back of Stephen Negru. Chester's on halfway on this near side. Playing it into Woodburn. Returning it to the runner Chester, just beyond him though in the end. An almost opportunity there for Salford, and MK Dons have it. And they have a free kick. Wern brought down here by Tyrese Fauna. Sierra Leone international. Actually sent off in only one of his 2 appearances for Sierra Leone. Tyrese Fauna. Sent off in November 2023 against Egypt. The 24-year-old. And with it, minute 45 here. And the 4th official, James Westgate, has indicated a minimum of... It's not said. I'll let you know how much time's added on when it comes up on the screen. As MK Dons have it in their own half here with Luke Offord, the number 17. He's got Woodburn in front of him. Plays it to his left, though, to Lawrence Maguire. Into the centre circle here with Hendry. Working himself away from Negru. And it's now with Nemain on the far side. A minute added on at the end of this first half where Salford lead. Nemain enters the box on the right-hand side and shoots towards goal. Blocked away by Negru. And it will be an MK Dons corner to end this opening 45 minutes here at the Peninsula Stadium. Salford just edging themselves in front, thanks to Francis Okoronkwo. Goes short, and then the ball's put in for MK Dons. It's a very teasing ball in, and 2 players went for it, Lemonhay Evans and Tomlinson, and neither of them really took the initiative there, and both went for the header, and between the 2 of them, they've sent it over the crossbar. And after the first half, the referee blows for a break hit at the Peninsula Stadium, and at half-time, it will be Salford 1, MK Dons 0. Currently, at the moment, Tom Edwards is down there for Salford, who must have challenged for the header with Tomlinson and Lemonhay Evans. Let's hope that Tom Edwards is okay, being treated by 2 of the Salford medical staff. Let's hope that's nothing too serious for Salford's number 2. As the Ammies lead at the break. And we'll have to see and hopefully get a positive update there on Tom Edwards. But both sides have been playing with a 3 at the back, and they've not exactly cancelled themselves out, cancelled each other out. But it's been a very even style of a game, pretty much split with possession, similar amounts of shots on goal, but Salford were able to nick a lead right before half-time through their new loanee signing of Francis Okoronkwo, brought in from Everton. It was won on the halfway line for Salford and deflected through to Stockton, who found a pass out to the right side to Okoronkwo, who ran towards goal and allowed to. Wasn't really closed down by the MK Dons midfield. He then got one-on-one with the centre-half Offord, and then just a simple right-footed touch onto his left foot sold the new MK Dons defender, and into the area. Okoronkwo got a shot on his left foot towards that far corner, just too out of reach of the goalkeeper Tom McGill, who got a slight fingertip to it but couldn't keep it out. Deflected off the post and in. And at half-time, it is Salford 1, MK Dons 0. Very solid half of football from both. Both playing the 3 at the back, so matching each other up in terms of shape, but that's not meant for a boring half. Salford have had 7 shots to MK Dons 8, and they both had 3 on target, pretty much split with possession 50-50. And from a Don's point of view, that goal to concede is so poor. Losing the first ball, which was a 50-50, then not picking up the second ball where it allowed Stockton just to have a simple pass out wide right to Okoronkwo, and then when he was allowed to run forward, it was not challenged by any midfielder, and then he just took on Luke Offord so easily, and then even when he entered the box, he was still given so much time to set himself, get that left-footed shot towards goal, which ended up hitting the back of the net. So, despite it being a rather even game, it probably should be level at the break, but, Francis Okoronkwo's took it upon himself to get Salford ahead, not being feared, not fearing the MK Dons defence, and just dribbled right through it and got a shot away and got it into the back of the net. So it is Salford who lead, and they need a lead. They need a win. They've not won yet this season in all competitions. 5 games played, 0 wins so far. They've drawn 2 at home. Both away to Bradford and Chesterfield, which in fairness aren't bad draws. Bradford and Chesterfield, I think they'll do well this season in League 2, both of those two teams, but obviously it's away where they've lost all 3 games on the opening weekend to Port Vale 2-0, then in the League Cup first round to Doncaster 2-0, and then losing in the EFL Trophy group stage again to Port Vale 2-0. So, at least they've scored at home. They've scored, which is always a help. They didn't score in the first 4 games of the season because that Bradford draw was 0-0. So that goal away at Chesterfield was their first goal of the season, and how big a goal it was. It gets their first point on the board this first goal on the board for this season. And they've scored again, like I say, first one at home from a new signing, which will be to the delight of the Salford board, who've had a lot of change in recent times. It's now Ryan Giggs, who's labelled as the sporting director, and the chief executive is Nicky Butt. Of course, it's very well documented that Gary Neville took a step back from the ins and outs of Salford City and the daily workings of the club. And, they need a big season, really, because 2 seasons ago they reached the playoff semi-final, and then the season after, which is the season just gone, they finished in 21st place with just 51 points. That's 24 points worse off than the season before. They won 9 less games last season compared to the one before. So it was such a huge, downfall for Salford. And again, they've not started this season particularly well, but we are still only just hitting September. So of course there's plenty of time for Salford to turn their season around, and this could be the start of it. Getting a win here against a very solid MK Dons side. They're a good footballing team. They like to play the ball around. They finished 4th last season, got into the playoffs, but of course, weren't able to get beyond Crawley. And it was only 2 seasons ago when MK Dons was in League 1 themselves. They were relegated in 21st position. Unfortunately, they were 1 point off safety, where it was Cambridge who were able to finish just above them. They were well away from the bottom of the table, at the rock bottom. Forest Green, who finished bottom that season, was 18 points below them. But still, MK Dons will not want to spend another season in this division. They'll want to go straight back up to League 1. They did win the League 2 title, MK Dons, back in 2008. So they have won this division before. They were promoted from League 2 automatically in 2019. So this club has a good record of winning this division and getting out of it via just automatic promotion. But they definitely won't want to spend another season in this division. It's all up to Mike Williamson, the manager, to get his team playing and getting them out of this division if they can. But the second half will be getting underway in around 6 or 7 minutes' time. But it's not like MK Dons haven't had chances. Hendry missed a sitter from 8 yards out early on in the half. The low ball in from Nemain, he's put a few of those low balls in Nemain. It's brought chances for MK Dons. And then Nemain completed a 1-2 with Wern. He got himself into the box, but hit it straight at the goalkeeper, Jones. So that's 2 pretty clear-cut chances there for the Dons. So it's not like they've not created anything, for what Salford have created going forward. MK Dons has done the same, if not maybe a slightly bit more. So they'll be definitely very frustrated with themselves here that they've not been able to go ahead themselves before Salford scored their goal just before the break. But Salford have been clinical. They're the team who've got the goal through Francis Okoronkwo. His first ever senior goal. It's his first ever senior appearance. The only times that he would have played against a senior side whereas in the EFL Trophy, because he did play for Everton's under-21s against Tranmere before his move here in the EFL Trophy. But in terms of playing for a men's senior team, this is his first ever taste of it, and he scored on his debut. And he's a versatile forward as well, which I found out whilst researching him, that he can play right across the front line. Tonight he's been more used as a striker in possession, but then also can drift out wide, and he plays more as a bit of a right-sided player when they're pressing. So that, versatility will definitely be a massive help for Salford and Carl Robinson. But if you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you please do. The second half will be getting underway very shortly. But also as well with the commentaries coming up, we are not doing the Bournemouth-Chelsea game. I changed that last night. So we will be doing a different game. Just had a bit of a switch around of the commentaries I'll be doing once the international break is over. So we'll be staying in League 2, in fact. Thursday night football once again, where it's Harrogate taking on Doncaster. That's the next game coming up, and then we've got Spurs against Arsenal, which is the North London derby, which Declan Rice will be missing after the international break. So they're the next three coming up, and then that will remain the same. We are doing the Birmingham Salford game, the Birmingham Wrexham game as well. So there we go. So yeah, on the Thursday, so in 10 days, on the 12th of September, we will be commentating on Harrogate Doncaster, and then on the Sunday, it will be Spurs against Arsenal on the 15th, in 13 days' time, and then I can't do maths, then in 14 days' time, exactly 2 weeks today, we'll be commentating on Birmingham Wrexham, which should be a cracking game on that Monday night, because Birmingham and Wrexham are both towards the top of League 1, both on 10 points from a possible 12 as it stands. As Stockport County currently lead the division on goal difference, but then it's Wrexham just behind them with one less goal difference, then Birmingham with a goal difference of 3, so just 4 behind County. One late as well at the weekend, Birmingham at home, not winning convincingly to start the season, Birmingham, but they are winning games, which is of course the most important thing. They won last minute against Wigan at the weekend at home. Scott Wright, their new signing, scoring in added on time. Some of the money they are spending in Birmingham is so scary. Getting Scott Wright and Ben Davies from Rangers was just mind blowing to me. the second half of this game will be getting underway now in a couple of minutes' time. We'll have to see if MK Dons make any changes going into the second half, possibly. Don't exactly know who they would change because they weren't exactly doing much wrong in that first half. It's just they had a real lapse of concentration as a defensive unit for that goal. Just such a poor one to concede. So I don't know if it would really require Mike Williamson to make any changes at half-time. Of course, if things remain the same, maybe towards the 60th minute onwards, then of course then he can start looking to bring on the substitutes he's got on the bench. He's got the new loanee they've brought in from Middlesbrough, Sonny Finch, who's also going to get his first real taste of men's football. He has come on 6 times for Middlesbrough at senior level, starting twice, both in the League Cup, but this is his first loan move away from Middlesbrough. They've also got Ellis Harrison, who scored last week late on against Carlisle in that 3-0 home win. They've got Tommy Lee as well, who they brought in on an undisclosed fee from Accrington Stanley. He had a fantastic season in League 2 last season, scoring the 8 times. So they've definitely got plenty of attacking options to bring on there, MK Dons. And to be fair, Salford do have the same. They have very little defensive options. They're struggling a bit at the moment with defensive availability. Salford City. And I've got the right back, a new signing from Portsmouth, Hadji Minoga. But then other than that, it's midfield and attackers. They've got Ryan Watson, the number 7, the man who started his career off at youth level with Everton. Then they've got John Taylor, who they brought in from Doncaster on a free. Kelly Namai as well, who they brought in 2020 after having trials with Manchester United and Manchester City. Ended up moving to Salford. They've got a new sign as well, brought in as a free agent. He was released by Lincoln, and that is Hakeeb Adelakan, the 28-year-old who spent the back end of last season on loan at Doncaster, scoring 9 goals. So that's a good pickup. And it does look like, you might remember, Tom Edwards went down at the end of the first half from the last action of the game, which was a corner. He's, of course, recovered. He's back to his feet, and he's going to be starting this second half once again. So that's good to see that Tom Edwards is fine and will be absolutely sound to continue this match, as it will be both teams now attacking the ends of their own supporters. So Salford right to left and MK Dons left to right towards that away support that have made the 6-hour round trip up here to the Peninsula tonight. As we do get back underway here, as Salford kick off, going back to their goalkeeper of Jones. High ball into the sky towards the left-hand side. Lemonhay Evans with the header. And he wins a foul as well as he went for the header. Okoronkwo just shoving him to the ground, just knocking him off balance as he was mid-air. So MK Dons have a free kick in their own half, and we're back underway here in Salford. And it's with the MK Dons goalkeeper of Tom McGill. No press on him at all, so he can bring it forward. It's from outside of his 18-yard box. Still with the number 1. Then playing a high ball out to the MK Dons right side, headed on by Hendry. It'll be controlled here by Nemain, who tries to turn around Garbett, but runs out of pitch. And in a left-back position, it'll be a Salford throw in here with Luke Garbett. Thrown down the line into the MK Dons half, where it's been kept in by Woodburn, and it's a header out of play there by Maguire. MK Dons wanting the throw in. They thought the ball had gone out there, but the linesman and the referee came to the conclusion that it was still in. And it's another Salford throw in, midway inside the MK Dons half here with Luke Garbett. Throws it and gets the return here from Woodburn. Then he plays it into the box towards Okoronkwo. Headed over to hooked over the head of Offord, only as far as Woodburn. It's now Stockton in the corner of the box on the left-hand side. Goes out wide to Garbett. Into the box it goes off the head of Lemonhay Evans. Cleared away all as far as Fauna. Now back out wide to Garbutt, inside to Forner. He's been made to go backwards due to the MK Dons press. It's now into the middle centre half here of Negru. It's now Tom Edwards, the number 2. Into Negru, and it's Salford back on the ball. Poor home record last season for Salford. Really, really poor. Won only 5 of their home games in the league from 23, winning 3 of the last 10. And they also lost 3 of the first 4 at home as well. So they need to make this place a more difficult place to come to. And after, losing the first 3 home games they've had here, all 3 in different competitions, and losing them all, hasn't been a great start. Salford have it this near side with Osterfield, who's been playing in the back 3 tonight for Salford. Osama Ashley back out to the left wing here to Forner. He wants to go in behind for Garbutt, nowhere near him in the end, picked up by Nemain. Turns away from Garbutt, it's now in the defensive third for MK Dons with the goalkeeper McGill. Getting the ball there from Callum Tripp, who spent a couple of months last season, at the back end of the season, on loan in the National League South with St Albans. It's MK Dons attack down the left-hand side. It's a brilliant ball played in behind here. It's Alex Gill, the captain, in the box on his right foot, shooting to the far post, and he's not quite found the corner of the goal. He'll be absolutely kicking himself there, Alex Gilby, that he's not put at MK Dons back level. Brilliant football down the left-hand side by MK Dons. Free flowing. And the ball down the left channel there, I believe, by Lemon Hay Evans, found Alex Gilby, who was running one-on-one there with Negru. And he got the shot, bending it towards that far corner. And Alex Gilby, who's already scored twice this season in both the home games against Bradford and Carlisle, fails to put that one in the back of the net. 3.5 minutes in, still 1-0 Salford. Salford, not lucky to still be ahead because they played well, but I mean, Alex Gilby should have put MK Dons back level, but he didn't. And the Ammies still lead here at the Peninsula Stadium. Such good football, though, by the MK Dons side to go from back to front so quickly. Long ball forward by MK Dons. It's bounced into the Salford box, and it's Hendry to go for the attempted lob over the goalkeeper. It's a couple of yards wide in the end. He's not quite had the best return here to Salford, Callum Hendry, who he's come from. But just a long punted ball forward, and Negru, the centre-half, allowed the ball to bounce, and it bounced through and beyond him, and it led for Callum Hendry to get that shot towards goal. But in the end, he couldn't work it on target. But 2 half-decent chances there for MK Dons in the opening 5 minutes of this second half, as a long ball forward from Jones, header won by Lemon Hay Evans, headed away by Negru, only as far as Liam Kelly on the halfway line. And it's the Dons back in possession with Joe Tomlinson, who goes into the central centre-half here of Luke Offord. In the centre circle, playing out to the right-hand side here to Nemain. Wants to run at Garbutt, and he will run at Garbutt. Plays it to the edge of the area here. Now to Lemon Hay Evans. Lifted ball, headed down by Hendry for Gilby. Out to the right to Lemon Hay Evans, who can hit them from the edge of the area. Fakes the first shot on his left foot. He goes for the strike in the end, but it's blocked well. And it goes through here for Woodburn for Salford, who can body feint and then try and play a ball through to Forner. Cut out, though, there by Offord, but then a loose ball by him out wide left. Gives it back to Salford, and in the end it goes for a Salford throwing a sliding challenge there by Evans. It's Lemon Hay Evans. Just a little bit scrappy there from both teams, it must be said. Salford have gone back into their defensive third here with Osterfield finding Stephen Negru. Now forward into the midfield to Osama Ashley, their number 4. Started at Fulham and then went to Wimbledon, and now with Salford after spells with West Ham and Colchester. So he's already been at a good few clubs, Osama Ashley, only at the age of 24. Salford have already lost the ball, and MK Dons are attacking down this near side. Nemain, not being closed down at the moment. Goes to his left here to Lemon Hay Evans. In a more central area, plays it forward to Hendry, then back out wide right to Nemain. One-on-one with Garbutt. He's going to run at Garbutt. Plays the ball to Kelly. Tries to return it to Nemain. Cut out by Osterfield, who lifts it forward down the left-hand side here to Forner. Got a ball inside. He'll drive inside himself, and Woodburn will run on, and he'll eventually play it to Woodburn, who's a little bit isolated for Salford on that right-hand side. Being forced to go back here. Gilby tackles. Referee sees it as a soft one and Gilby can bring it forward. Only 2 MK Dons plays forward and there's 4 Salford plays back. So Gilby slows it down, then lifts it out to the left-hand side. Controlled by Tomlinson. Just gets away from him. Strong tackle there from Negru. He'll bring it forward for Salford and clips it to the left side. To the halfway line to Stockton. Into the path here of Ashley, who's going to burst towards it. It's Forner who gets there. Being followed and tracked by Lemonhay Evans. Has to go back to Garbutt. And MK Dons get bodies back. Salford keep it though on the halfway line. But they've got the whole MK Dons team to get beyond here as they attack forward. But only 5 players start tonight who started the last time these two teams met back in early March. 2 for Salford and 3 for MK Dons. Salford attack right side, final third. Can they get the ball into the box through Chesters? No, they can't. He tried the 1-2 there with Okoronkwo, but he's overhit it, the Everton loanee. And it will be an MK Dons goal kick. 8 minutes into this second half, it's still Salford 1, MK Dons 0. The Dons probably think they should be level. They had a great chance 3 minutes into the half with Alex Gilby, but he couldn't quite curl it into the far post from within the 18-yard box. As McGill gets it forward to the halfway line to Hendry. Loses out to Negru. Brilliant centre-half play, and he dribbles down the left-hand side into the left wing position. What a run from the young centre-back. Negru, 1-on-1 with Tripp. Plays into the corner of the box for Woodburn. Forced away from goal there by Offord. It's now back to Garbutt. He wants the early cross. He'll put the ball in. It's an outswinger where it's caught in the end by McGill. No one really attacking it though for Salford at that far post. And McGill rolls it in front of Lawrence Maguire. Ball inside to Kelly, who run away here from Ashley. Finds Stephen Wern. Forward to Nemain. Back inside to Kelly. 1-2 with Nemain there. It's now with the middle centre-back of Offord. Still has it here. The MK Dons number 17. Played to Henry. Tries to flick it in behind for Wern. Cut out though by Negru. Nemain on the end of a heavy challenge from Garbutt, but both were okay. And it's now with Forner. Into the middle for Woodburn. Left wing of Stockton. Not being closed down at the moment. Brings the game to walking pace. And then plays it back to the halfway line here to Osterfield. Still with Salford's number 33. Pass forward in between the lines. It's a brilliant ball to Forner, who keeps it away from Nemain. Again, no real option with him on that left flank, as Garbutt is still struggling from his own tackle. So now at the right centre half of Edwards, beyond the halfway line to Okoronkwo. Chester's inside to Ashley. And then back it goes to Negru, midway side the Salford half. Salford just reluctantly half pressing here. Trying to win the ball back if they can. Negru lifts it forward with a clip ball towards Okoronkwo, who does win the header. And he'll chase his own header, but Tomlinson will get there first. And he'll play it back to the goalkeeper of Tom McGill. Who brings it outside the 18-yard box. McGill. It's a long ball forward down the left side, but no one's there for MK Dons to chase that one down. It's straight out for a Salford throw-in. Definitely the better team in this second half, Salford. They look more confident anyway, for me. Even though MK Dons have created opportunities of their own. Long throw-in. They're won by Maguire and a foul there on Gilby. The referee plays the advantage as it drops to Kelly in the central area. Out to the right to Nemain, midway side the Salford half. He's been forced to go back by Garbutt. Finds Liam Kelly, who's pulled back by Woodburn. Free kick for the Dons, just in front of the centre circle. So plenty of distance still to make up here for MK Dons if they want to try and get a goal. It's in the centre circle with Offord. Forward to Gilby, finding Wern. It's now with Kelly. It's on the halfway line with Tripp. Forward to Kelly. finding Nemain. Again, not being closed down straight away, and finding a ball towards the edge of the box to Gilby. It just deflects away from Ashley, and cleared in the end for Salford straight to Offord. It almost dropped, quite fortunately for MK Dons in the box, but Salford are able to deal with it. Liam Kelly lifting it down the right-hand side. Stephen Wern will chase it, but will get nowhere near it. Seen behind for a goal kick by Josh Osterfield. And I've just read a tweet here, but obviously I can't hear the game at the commentary, but someone's tweeted saying this Salford MK Dons game is like watching lockdown football. All you can hear is the players. So clearly the atmosphere isn't exactly booming, you could say, at the Peninsula, which can hold just over 5,000, but Salford only average a couple thousand a game at home. So you've got to start thinking, when will the Dons make a change here? As they've got some defensive work to do, and Lawrence Maguire does it, kicking it off Woodburn, throwing right next to the corner flag here for MK Dons, which will be taken by Lawrence Maguire, who of course has his brother Harry Maguire, who plays football, but also his other brother Joe plays football at a bit of a lower level than Lawrence in the lower leagues of English football. So as it throws it, headed on by Tomlinson, put into the air though by Edwards, headed forward by Osama Ashley, drops in the end for Chesters. Given away though as he tried to play ball forward towards Okoronkwo. It's now MK Dons to try and switch out to their right hand side. Tripp has to get it away from Stockton. Played forward in the end. Headed away though by Edwards to Ashley, who on that far side is tripped to the ground there by Hendry. No, says the referee. Brought to the ground by Hendry, but seen as fair. And MK Dons have a throw in, and they've taken it quickly. Hendry keeping the ball moving as Liam Kelly releases it. It's now Lemonhay Evans to Nemain in the right wing, just outside the area. He now enters the box with a pass through to Lemonhay Evans. The angle's tight. He pulls it back. Shot towards goal. It's blocked by Negru. Cleared in the end by Chesters. Volleyed by Stockton. Up towards Okoronkwo, who holds it up nicely. Just caught there by Liam Kelly. And it'll be a free kick for Salford as we're going to get a booking here. The referee, Ben Speedy, just going back to book Tom Edwards, who originally fouled Callum Hendry, but a play was allowed to continue as MK Dons had the advantage, which they nearly took advantage of themselves. There was a little bit of afters as well between Hendry and Edwards. But he was probably booked for the main foul. He was pretty cynical, grabbing the MK Dons strikers. We are going to get changes from the Dons. And the first one will be number 10, Liam Kelly, which is surprising. I wouldn't exactly say he's had a bad game or he's slowing anything down. I'm sure he won't be happy he's been brought off, Liam Kelly. He's only played once this season. He's been out for the last two. That's probably why, in fairness. He has missed the last two games out injured. He played the full 90 against Bradford on the opening day. So Liam Kelly's replaced after an hour in central midfield, and so is Stephen Wern. I've watched Stephen Wern twice now, and in both games he's done absolutely nothing. So he also comes off. So Stephen Wern is off for the new loan signing of Sonny Finch, who makes his MK Dons debut. And the second MK Dons change, can't quite see it at the moment, but Salford are also going to make a change of their own. It looks like it's going to be the goal scorer, Francis Okoronkwo, who scores on his senior footballing debut for Salford on loan from Everton. Again, probably just lacking a bit of match fitness. So he will be replaced here by another new signing for Salford, and that's Hakeeb Adelakan, who they brought in as a free agent. He was released in the summer by Lincoln. Had a great loan spell in this division with Doncaster, so surprised it took Adelakan so long to find a new club. But he will replace Francis Okoronkwo, the goal scorer. Didn't quite catch that second MK Dons change. There we go. So Wern off for Finch and Liam Kelly off for Tommy Lee. So 3 substitutes altogether as it's back underway here. And it's with Tom Edwards in the right centre-back position for Salford. Lifting it down the line up to the halfway line. Stockton tries to flick it on. And it comes off him last. And it'll be a throw-in for the Dons on the halfway line here. They've worked it back to the goalkeeper. He's midway inside his own half. He's come well out of his 18-yard box, Tom McGill. And he goes long. Once again, header won by Edwards for Salford. It's now Ashley, surrounded by 2 MK Dons shirts, sandwiched in between both of them, and the free kick will go against him as he pulled down Lemonhay Evans. So free kick for the away side. They've got 27 minutes plus added on time to try and get themselves back in this game. They trail at the moment. They've had to go back to the goalkeeper, McGill. Good pressing there by Ben Woodburn of Salford City. Brilliant signing for Salford to bring in Woodburn from Championship Preston North End. Actually scored his only goal last season against Salford when Preston faced them in the League Cup first round, where they knocked Salford out on penalties. Definitely don't want to let this slip here, Salford City, after not winning any of their opening 5 games in all competitions this season. It's going to be an MK Dons free kick in a more central area, about 40 yards out. Lemonhay Evans is over it. Goes to the right to Offord. Everything to his left now, where he passes it to Nemain. Plays the run of Tripp, who puts it into the near post low, but straight to a Salford player who can't clear it very well. It's a low one, picked up by Lee. Right next to the corner flag now, keeps it in, goes back to Nemain. Still with the number 16. It's now with Lee again, crossing the ball in straight to the gloves of Jamie Jones. He will deal with that no problem, and he'll quickly kick it out of his hands. It's high into the sky up towards Adelakan, but he's beaten to it there by Offord. And MK Dons want to go forward quickly. Nemain can't get away from Garbett. Throw in for MK Dons. Thrown forward quickly to Sonny Finch. Good hold up play there, and he gets it now. It's with Nemain, tackled by Garbett again, then fouls the Salford wing back for tonight. And that'll be a free kick for the Armies. Well won there by Luke Garbett, former England under-21 international. Came through at Leeds originally and spent 11 years at Everton, playing 12 times for them, 5 in the Premier League. Worked under Carl Robinson before in his career. Luke Garbett. Played under him whilst Carl Robinson was in charge at Oxford United. Jamie Jones takes a free kick long up towards the edge of the 18-yard box in the MK Dons half. Header away though by Offord. Header away on the halfway line by Negru for Salford. It's now Garbett facing his own goal. Nemain sliding in, winning the ball. Dropping to Osterfield, who clears it off Nemain. And that'll be a throw-in again for Salford on this near side, just in front of their technical area. Carl Robinson stood next to one of his assistants there, of Alex Bruce, who left Macclesfield as first team manager to come and join the coaching staff of Carl Robinson here at Salford. As Forner gives it away on the halfway line, Gilby picks it up, but then another clearance, and it's played in behind here for Stockton. It's turned into a brilliant ball as he shoots towards goal. It's straight at the goalkeeper, McGill. Stockton trying to keep it alive, Tripp keeping it in, and it's cleared by McGill. Oh, he's not kept it in the end. It's going to be a corner for Salford. A chance out of nowhere. It dropped on the halfway line. And it wasn't a pass, it was more of a clearance by Negru. But it ended up going over the top of Offord. And it ended up being a fantastic ball for Stockton. He's just hit it right at the goalkeeper from within the 18-yard box. Snatched it a little bit. Cole Stockton, who's still waiting for his first goal for the club. It's a high ball. Oh my word, that might be the worst corner I've ever seen. That corner went so high and it went straight out of play. He certainly delivered better than that, Luke Garbutt. But that is so poor. And MK Dons can start again with a goal kick. What a waste. As we've got a quarter of the game to go. It just hit the 67th minute. Salford 1, MK Dons 0. Like I said, the first time these two sides met was last season, and MK Dons won them both. It's given away again by McGill with a long clearance. He's not been great at them tonight. Those longer balls for MK Dons as Stockton on halfway keeps it away from two MK Dons players. It's now back into Tom Edwards and then to the goalkeeper. He's been given a bouncing ball here and Jones just hurries it away. It's not a great clearance though. Controlled by Lee. Just goes behind him though and he's tackled by Forner, who can keep it and play a left-footed pass. It's drilled into Adelakan and he's been able to return it to Forner in the Salford half. Jamie Jones, the goalkeeper in the 6-yard box, playing a ball to the right. It will just about reach Edwards. He keeps it away there from Gilby. It's now Forner beyond the halfway line for Salford. Down that left-hand side again. Garbutt was free, but turns the other way and plays out to the right to Woodburn. Then on once more to Chesters. The pass wasn't great. A lot of unnecessary power towards Chesters, who couldn't quite control it. Goes out for a throw-in for MK Dons right next to the corner flag here. It looks like Salford will make more changes upcoming shortly. But as Salford manager, Carl Robinson has took charge of 14 home games here in all competitions, and he's only won 3, drawing 5 others and losing 6. So again, under Robinson, they need to make this place more of a fortress this season. Salford City throwing on halfway for MK Dons with the former Notts County man Aaron Nemain. Gets the return from Lee. Inside for Lemonhay Evans. Gets away from Woodburn. And then passes it to his left. And then on once more. Gilby. Tomlinson crosses, but it's so poor. Is it poor or is it a corner? I think it took a deflection. Joe Tomlinson wants to take it quickly if he can. With his right foot. I thought that was a really poor cross, but it looks like it took a deflection. He takes the corner short. It's now crossed into the box where the header from Sonny Finch is really bad. Just couldn't quite direct it on target. Wide and high it went from the number 39. The ball was eventually put in there by Lawrence Maguire towards that near post. It just went over the head of Osterfield, which gave Finch this chance to head it, but couldn't quite convert it in. As Salford are going to make another change with 20 to play here. They're going to make 2 changes, actually, with 20 to play, as they look to try and see out these 3 points. It'll be their first win of the season. First change will be Ben Woodburn, who started the last 3 games in a row now in the league. Oh, no, he won't, will he? I don't know. Who's coming off? I thought he was coming off there, Woodburn. That's who they were showing. Anyway, someone who's definitely coming off is the number 9, Cole Stockton. So both strikers who started tonight are now off for Salford. So the 2 changes. So Woodburn has come off. So Woodburn off and Stockton for Ryan Watson, the number 7 central midfielder, and a striker of number 27, Killian Kouassi, who they brought in on loan from Blackpool, who were in League One. He said he is happy to be here on a loan spell. Did play 24 times last season. Killian Kouassi scoring 5 goals. Scored a hat-trick in the EFL Trophy against Liverpool's under-21s. And we're also going to get a change for MK Dons. A very unsuccessful journey back to Salford for Callum Hendry, who has been brought in from MK Dons from Salford. He has been substituting and we were replaced by Ellis Harrison, who is yet to start a game this season in the league, but did score last week against Carlisle. So a couple more changes for both sides there. So we've got 18 minutes to play. Garbutt on halfway on this near side. Try to turn away from Nemain. Kicks it off the right wing back and up into the sky it goes. Back to Nemain, who hooks it over his head and finds Harrison, who hooks it over his head and in behind. And it'll be given chase to there, but it won't be caught up by Sonny Finch into the gloves of Jamie Jones, whose last ever season in League Two was in the 16-17 season for Jones, when he was playing his football with Stevenage. Kicks forward by Jones, up towards Kouassi, flicks it on, it'll be ran at by Watson, but the goalkeeper McGill slides in, takes it away from the Salford number 7. It's his first appearance of the season as well for Ryan Watson. Wasn't included in any of the opening 5 squads this season. Just a little bit of an injury for him, I assume. But he's off the bench tonight for his first appearance of the season. As McGill, the MK Dons goalkeeper, brings it from outside of his 18-yard box, allowed to advance forward here. And again, he'll lift it up towards the edge of the 18-yard box where Finch will chase it, headed away by Negru. As far as Harrison, who loses the first ball. And it eventually drops here for Lee. Gilby. Finch on the edge of the area, working a bit of space on his right foot, playing it backwards to Lemon Hay Evans. Then to the left to Gilby. Enters the box. Plays to his left to Tomlinson. Low ball in. It's deflected away by Ashley. And then plays it to the left here to Forner, who will drive forward with the ball. Very progressive midfielder. He keeps on his feet despite the challenge from Lemon Hay Evans. He's still going in the area. Forner. Slide challenge comes in from Tripp. And it's a clean one. And MK Dons win the ball back. But that was an almighty run there by Tyrese Forner from central midfield. But MK Dons want to go forward and they find Sonny Finch in behind and the flag has stayed down. Tight angle in the box. Onto his left foot, back onto his right. Trying to pull it across for Harrison. Really well defended though by Negru. There was questions of offside there as Sonny Finch made his run, but flag stayed down. Probably should have done more with that. Sonny Finch brought on for his MK Dons debut in this second half. So 16 of the 90 to play, plus any added on time. Remember, no more commentaries coming up until after the international break. Next one is on the 12th of September. Thursday night League 2 action as Harrogate hosts Doncaster. So 2 over the corner here on the near side for MK Dons. And the main taker, and he's got Tommy Lee next to him. Directly crossed into the far post here. Maguire nods it down. Straight to Watson though for Salford, and they can set off a counter-attack here. Forward they go. Can they make this count? Salford attacking, plenty of bodies forward here. Played to the left-hand side here to Kouassi. In the area, wanting to go on his left foot. Shoved to the ground, way too soft there. Went down too easily. Good defending by Callum Tripp once again for the Dons. And they can try and bring it forward with 15 minutes to play. Up to Ellis Harrison. Can he keep it away from Negru? Both go down over the challenge, and it's a bit of a soft one by the referee, but it'll be a free kick for Salford. Ellis Harrison, the one committing the foul. Almost a chance there for killing Kouassi on his Salford debut on loan from Blackpool. Like I said, just way too soft for me. Stood his ground, Callum Tripp, the 18-year-old. Like I say, born August 2006. So, Salford have a free kick midway inside their own half, just towards the left-hand side. He'll be taken by the goalkeeper of Jones. Pumped long, out to the Salford right, into the 18-yard box, where it's dropped towards Watson. Just can't quite get it under control. It's now Lemon Hay Evans, gets it to Lee, tackled, and then a shot drilled to the bottom left corner by Watson. Too far wide in the end, about 22 yards out. Just a little bit rusty possibly there, Ryan Watson, who did score 7 goals last season in League 2. 6 of them coming here at the Peninsula before that. You know, wasn't known as much as a goal scorer that regularly. Salford win it back towards halfway. Lifted up towards Adelakan. But then again, dealt with by Tripp, who's had a decent solid 5 minutes, the 18-year-old at the back, who's stopped Salford from getting a second, which would really make it difficult for MK Dons to take anything away from this game. Lemonhay Evans in the centre circle, keeping it away from the press of Watson. And going back to Offord. Lemonhay Evans. Out to the left here to Harrison, who goes back towards Lawrence Maguire. Didn't need to. Could have continued to go forward. Here's Lemonhay Evans again, who was a part of the Stockport County side who won the league title last season. Also part of that team that won the National League as well, with Dave Challoner at Stockport County. Big switch out to the left by Offord. It's a brilliant ball as well, controlled by Tomlinson. Being forced to go back though by Chesters. Brings in Lawrence Maguire. Down the line here now for MK Dons. Ball inside towards Tomlinson. Overhit. Cut out there by Forner, who can work it to Adelakan. Looking for Kouassi at striker, and it just go through to him in the end through Tommy Lee. Kouassi in the box on the right-hand side. Very isolated. Adelakan's joining in. He doesn't play it to the number 31. Instead goes all the way back here to Ashley. Salford still trying to attack though. Flag stays down. Adelakan returns to Chesters, who crosses it towards Kouassi. Headed down for Garber, who shoots towards goal. Straight down the throat of McGill. And it's MK Dons who need a goal, but Salford are looking the most threatening at the moment. Decent ball in by Chesters. Headed down by Tripp. Straight to Garber in the 18-yard box. Allowed to shoot. Comfortable save in the end for the goalkeeper. As midway through last season, just like MK Dons, Salford also had a change of manager. Neil Wood being sacked right before New Year after a 2-1 loss away at Colchester. He hadn't won any of the previous 8 before his sacking. Their worst run last season for Salford was 11 without a win, drawing 4, losing 7. As MK Dons come forward, shot from the edge of the box there by, I believe that was Sonny Finch, and it was. And again, just like Garbutt shot at the other end, straight at the goalkeeper. Thrown to Garbutt. Long ball forward down the left channel, just kicked out of play by Tripp as it was going towards Killian Kouassi. It does look like Salford are going to make a defensive change soon. Haji Minoga, who they brought in on a free from Portsmouth on deadline day, will come in. Tanzanian international, played 13 times for Tanzania, and he will replace the right wing back of Dan Chesters. That'll probably be a bit of a like for like, really, because Haji Minoga can also play at wing back, and it did look like Dan Chesters was just struggling with a bit of cramp a couple of minutes ago, so makes sense to bring him off if he's struggling. So Dan Chesters to come off, the 22-year-old, and he'll be replaced by the other 22-year-old, a new signing, Haji Minoga, who signed here on a 1-year deal from Portsmouth. Came through at Portsmouth, came through their academy, joined in 2008. So we're back underway, thrown from Garbutt. Watson keeps it and lifts it out to the right here to Minoga. Won't quite beat Tomlinson to it, but he'll win it off him. And he sees it out for a throw-in. Brilliant introduction there from Haji Minoga. Showing exactly what he's about already. And he'll leave the throw-in here for the number 2 of Tom Edwards. Throws it into the midfield here to Ashley. Back into the Salford half here to Negru. And then back to the goalkeeper of Jones in the 18-yard box. Clears it long, up beyond the halfway line, down the Salford right. Free header one there for Maguire. Headed back forward by Edwards. Picked up on halfway though by the chest of Lemonhay Evans. And tries to go to the left of Tomlinson, but he's played it too far in front of him. And that's a really poor giveaway from Lemonhay Evans. Very unlike the new number 24. Little bit of a controversial transfer, Lemonhay Evans, going to MK Dons, because he spent the first half of last season at Wimbledon. So that'll be a very tasty fixture for him when he goes back to Wimbledon in a couple of weeks' time as an MK Dons player. As he gets a strong challenge in there, Lemonhay Evans, but it drops instead for Watson for Salford. Out to the left to Kouassi. On his right foot, he's trying to bend it into the top right corner, but that is nowhere near goal. A good 10 yards wide. That's how far away that one was. Usually a little bit better than that, Killian Kouassi. He has played League 2 football in his career before when he was at Sutton before joining Blackpool, but only scored twice in 40 appearances in this division. Spent last season playing for Blackpool in League 1 as MK Dons try and get in behind the Salford defence. Negru has to deal with it. Slides in at the most pivotal of moments there, because it was going straight through for Sonny Finch. As again, Salford just trying to hang on to this lead at the moment with 8 minutes to play. Still 1-0 at the Peninsula. Formerly called Moor Lane, but of course due to sponsorship reasons it's called the Peninsula, as a ball towards the near post can't quite reach Sonny Finch. Salford have it in a left back position. Cleared straight out of play though. And you can see these MK Dons supporters are madly frustrated. You know, such a long away day for them on a Monday night. And, you know, they've not exactly been they've not been poor. They've had a decent amount of possession. They've had lots of shots at goal, but it just feels like something's been missing from the performance. Well, what's been missing has been a goal, but they need to be trying to get more shots off at goal if possible. It's with the Salford goalkeeper in the 6-yard box. Clears it long. It's a high ball beyond the halfway line towards Watson. Header won instead by Offord. It's now with Tommy Lee playing it into the path of Lemonhay Evans. Goes out to the far side now to Tomlinson. Back into the back three for Lawrence Maguire. Offord. Back into Maguire. And he'll play it into McGill, just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Keeping the ball well here, MK Dons, but they need to get it forward a little bit quicker here. Only kept one clean sheet at home last season as well, Salford, and that was against Wimbledon back in mid-December, so they very rarely keep clean sheets here as Nemain nutmegs Garbutt, and then Lee returns it to Nemain in the final 30, chops inside, brilliant bit of skill. Nemain crosses, it comes off the backside of Garbutt, but drops to Lee with the shot, tips onto the post, and cleared away. That is a brilliant save from Jamie Jones, the captain. Tommy Lee with his left foot, trying to just get that ball into the bottom right corner, but tips onto the post. Nemain running into the box on his left foot. Can he strike it? Lays it off. Shot by Tomlinson. Blocked. Falls towards Kouassi, who plays it in behind here for Adelakan, who will get there for Salford. The substitute is in the box. Can he finish it? No, he can't. Saved by McGill at the near post. It's now with Minoga. Adelakan with a ball across. Does it take a deflection? Yes, it does, and it will be a corner for Salford with 6 minutes to play. One end, MK Dons almost equalise. At the other, Salford almost double their lead. So close that from Tommy Lee at the other end. But then the counter-attack, it's a great ball over the top. And Adelakan was the one chasing it down. And again, just hit right at the goalkeeper, who came out in fairness, made the angle as tight as possible. But Tommy Lee with a left-footed shot, curling it into that near post. Looked like he was going to try and bend it to the far post. And I think he almost caught the goalkeeper out, but it was a good recovery by Jones, who tipped it onto the post. And the Salford corner taken short. It's now on the edge of the area to Forner. Switching it towards the right here to Minoga. Back on the halfway line with Edwards, who takes it forward, tripped on the halfway line by Gilbert. That'd be a free kick for Salford City to take. Jamie Jones for Salford. Down the left-hand side, headed into the box there by Garbutt. Watson chases it, cleared by Offord, not very convincing. Controlled by Tripp, cleared by the 18-year-old. Can't quite find Sonny Finch, who's been dispossessed by Osterfield. It's now Minoga, 25 yards out, playing it down the right-hand side here for Kouassi. Back into Minoga on that far side. Edwards goes for the early cross. It's a good ball in, headed away by Offord. Straight to Lee. Then out to the right towards Nemain. It's overhit though. Picked up by Osterfield, who will go all the way back to Jones on the edge of the Salford 18-yard box. Being closed down here by Harrison. Clears it left-footed. Headed on by Garbutt. It will drop here for Forner in a left-wing position. Good slide challenge there from Lemonhay Evans, but he will concede a throw-in. With 4 minutes of the 90 to play. They've been amazing in the midfield for Salford. Tyrese Forner and Osama Ashley. Some real hard work in midfield they've got there on the hands, Salford City. Lemonhay Evans gets the free kick because Salford have been caught offside there from the throw-in. Of course, you can't be offside directly from a throw-in, but they played a few passes and eventually caught offside. So McGill has it. Plays it to Offord as MK Dons are running out of time here. Nearly up to the 87th minute. Offord out to the right on the halfway line with Tripp. Forward to Nemain. Back inside to Tripp. Facing his own goal and playing it back here to Offord. Can they keep this press going? They've got fresh legs up there, Salford, so they should be able to keep closing this MK Dons defence down. Offord on the halfway line. Going into the middle to Lemonhay Evans. Turns nicely. Wants to go out to the left, but again, it's being shut down. Still with Lemonhay Evans in a centre-back position. That's how deep he's having to drop with the ball now, so we just can have a bit of time with it. Maguire. Down the MK Dons left, finds a brilliant ball. It's now Gilby. Looking for Harrison. Deflects here for Tomlinson. Eventually finds Harrison. Then back out wide left here. Here's Tommy Lee. Crossing the ball in towards Harrison. It deflects off a Salford man and just behind for a corner. Almost an own goal there by Stephen Negru, who's been brilliant tonight for Salford in the middle of that back three. Teasing ball in. And another ball goes in from the corner. Header away by Salford, but back in from the head of Tomlinson. Cleared again by Salford. Oh, as far as Tripp for MK Dons, who plays it inside here to Offord. Turns away brilliantly from Kouassi. That could have been bad. That could have been problematic. Ball forward though for MK Dons by Tomlinson. He's overhit it. And Jamie Jones will be able to see that one out again. Arms up in the air from the MK Dons supporters who have travelled all this way and they've not seen a goal scored. It looks like they'll be losing once again. It'll be just one win from 5 for MK Dons. So as that ball was put in by Lee, came off the head of Negru and also a tip behind from Jones. I'm not sure if it was going in, but if it was, he stopped a certain own goal there as MK Dons have got their low knee down here of Sonny Finch, former England under-18s international, making his MK Dons debut. To struggling with the right leg. He was involved in a challenge a few minutes ago, Sonny Finch, with Osterfield. So it's obviously that is where it's come from. A minute of the 90 to go. Sonny Finch is down, so we'll get a bit of added on time here at the end of this game. So it looks like MK Dons are going to make a late change here. I'm not sure if it'll be Sonny Finch to come off. I don't know how hurt he is. Because if he... So he has to come off. Oh, and he's in quite a lot of pain. So on his MK Dons debut on loan from Middlesbrough, he's been substituted on in the second half. And he's had to be substituted off at the end of the half. Just limping, having to be held up by the 2 physios. Looks like a right leg injury. Just squashed a little bit by Osterfield in that challenge. So there's 5 minutes added on. MK Dons are questioning the decision to add 5 on, as Sonny Finch will be replaced by MJ Williams, because he is the only midfielder they've got left on the bench, or attacker. You know, Sonny Finch is a striker, and the only players they've got left on the bench is MJ Williams, who's a holding midfielder, and then the 2 defenders of Jack Tucker and Dean Lewington. As there is Harry Maguire, and I think that's Joe Maguire next to him as well. So both of Lawrence's brothers here watching Salford tonight. Well, Salford MK Dons, because obviously Lawrence Maguire plays for the Dons. So MJ Williams on for the injured Sonny Finch's. Lemonhay Evans tackled very fairly. No referee, that's not a foul, and he's not giving it brilliantly. Good decision from the referee. Good challenge in there by Osama Ashley, but Salford have lost it through Kouassi up front. It's now Tom McGill. So we've got 5 added on. We've played just over a minute of it. Played inside to MJ Williams, the number 6. Forward down the MK Dons left. Lee can't quite hold it up against Edwards, but it's won back by Williams, Forced to go back towards his own goal, and he's given it away to Adelakan, and Kouassi's free, but Adelakan's hit the touch. What a nightmare that is, because that was a free tap-in pretty much there for Kouassi, the lone signing, but he's overran it. Adelakan and MK Dons can try and go one more time. Long ball forward, nodded down by Lee, out to the left to Tomlinson. Gilby again try to go forward to Lee on the final third on the left-hand side. But Edwards, has he overran that one? No, he hasn't. Shielding it on the corner flag here. Tommy Lee kicking it away, but still in. And Edwards can clear it in the end. Up towards Kouassi, who is tackled and dispossessed. And MK Dons have it back on halfway. Anybody first game listening to this season? Good It's game involving the two most hated teams in the lower leagues. Yes. Anyone hating on Wrexham is just genuinely jealous. Possibly. Maybe. Definitely not me. Salford are trying to defend here, and they've got it up front towards Kouassi, but can't control it. Tripp takes it off him and plays a brilliant ball out wide right to Nemain, who returns it to Tripp. Final third, low ball into the edge of the area, but no one in MK Don's shirt is there. Cleared for Salford, but straight back to MK Dons with Luke Offord. Always having the urge to the opposite majority. Wrexham have done wonders from lower league. Yeah, they have done brilliantly, but of course, lots of money has, allowed that rise to happen. But yeah, no, I think it's a great story. Something different. Having such two famous actors take on a club, and we've got it running quite well, of course, with their two promotions. No league titles though. No, oh yeah, they won the National League, didn't they? In the end, they came second in the season against Stockport County in the National League. Salford have won it on the halfway line. What a tackle that is from Forner, finding Kouassi, running at Offord in the edge of the box, squares it to his right to Watson, then out wide once more to Minoga. In the final third, 90 seconds are added on time to play. Gives it to Adelakan. Minoga. Taking it towards the corner flag here. Got Tomlinson trying to take it off him. Still with Minoga. And the last touch comes off Maguire, and that's a corner. Brilliant. It's such a well-won corner there by Haji Minoga. Their new freebie brought in from Portsmouth on deadline day. One minute to go. This will be Salford's first win of the season. And it would mean so much to everyone associated at the club. As Garbett takes it short to Minoga, who again is going to shield it in that corner. Lemon Hay Evans trying to take it off him. And the free kick's gone Salford's way. Lemon Hay Evans with a two-handed push in the back. And it does look like Salford are going to see this one over the line. Got their little group of supporters behind the goal, chanting their team to victory. For the team who was towards the bottom of the table last season and the team at the top, this will be a great result for Salford. It's played to Minoga again in that corner flag, getting away from 4 MK Don's shirt, eventually tackled, cleared forward by Lemon Hay Evans. As far as Edwards, Salford go back to the halfway line here to Negru. Up to the halfway line, Watson heads it out to the left, controlled by the chest of Forner. Then finds Kouassi, who will take it to this corner flag on the near side. Tripp coming towards him to take it off him, still with Kouassi. Right on that corner flag, still in. Eventually tackled by Tripp, who pokes it away. And it's a free kick that's gone MK Don's way. In fact, Tripp just being, I think, pulled back there by Kouassi. I'm not sure how long we'll have left here. We've played 35 seconds extra on top of the 5 added on. MK Dons clear it long, and the referee will blow the full-time whistle. It is a massive 3 points for Salford City, who win their first game of the season in all competitions. It's coming at Peninsula Stadium. They've kept a first clean sheet here in the league since the 16th of December 2023. That was against Wimbledon. This clean sheet comes against MK Dons, and I think just on the balance of play, Salford just about deserved that. Showed real fight, heart, grit, determination to get over the line there. MK Dons quite simply just not quite clinical enough, especially in that second half when they had the chances. And it's unlike MK Dons to not score in football matches, but they failed to do so once again here. falling to another defeat this season. It's just 1 win in 5 for MK Dons to start the campaign. And could this be the result that gets Salford's season up and running? The winner was scored from their new loanee signing from Everton, Francis Okoronkwo. A brilliant individual effort in the end of the first half, putting the ball into the bottom left corner. Brilliant little run from him to get away from Luke Offord. And that's what loan signings are for, to bring in quality from Premier League clubs, getting them experience, but bringing your side goals. And Francis Okoronkwo has done that here on his Salford debut. MK Dons will be frustrated, for sure, but they won't change their ways, and I'm sure they will eventually be able to turn the results around. It's just a bit of a slow start for the Dons. Same for Salford, but they finally got a first win on the board as here at the Peninsula Stadium. It finishes Salford City 1, MK Dons 0. Thought there'd be more goals than that. It should have been more goals, actually, because if we look at the stats, combined, we saw 29 shots and 11 on target, but in fairness, both goalkeepers have performed well tonight, especially Jamie Jones towards the end of the game. So I think the 1-0 scoreline's a little bit deceiving. It probably should have been more than that, but, Salford, I think, do deserve the 3 points. Unbeaten now in 2, because they drew their last game away at Chesterfield with 10 men, which was pretty impressive. Let's go through a few of these comments. Only been 3 games, but who's impressed you so far in the Prem and other EFL divisions? Liverpool, I agree with. I think they've been good under Arne Slot. I know it's my team, but I think Stockport County have done really well in League One so far. Unbeaten, 3 wins in a draw. Who else have I seen that I've been impressed with? I think Swindon's had a good start to the League 2 season as well, if I'm not mistaken. Liverpool have surprised everyone by saying, yeah, they do look very settled, but not the squad's not changed very much, has it? They've only bought in Chiesa. Other than that, everyone's pretty much stayed put. Still need to see them against Arsenal, the City. Of course, that'll be a big challenge for Arne Slot against the 2 main players. Great commentary, Mitches. Thank you very much. Great stuff for Peter Lim's boys. Yes, very much. Salford with the 3 points there. How's the new Sky Sports CFL coverage like this season? Seems to have better camera angles for games. Well, they're just showing a lot more games, which is brilliant for me and this channel, so I can bring more, different kinds of games, the ones that not everyone will have access to. So that's been pretty cool to have, and it's been good for the tennis as well. I know this isn't football, but it's been good for the tennis because you can watch any court you want, because it's been the US Open the last week going into this week, so it's been good for that as well. Stockport will be good, actually. I know I've seen 2 of our games so far, our 2 home games, where we beat Cambridge on the first game of the season, and we beat, who was the other one, Bristol Rovers, and we were very impressive. And I was glad we got a point against Mansfield away, because they came up with us, and they are a difficult team to beat. They're well set up under what's his name? I can't remember the Mansfield manager's name. That's poor from me. Sunderland, Derby have looked surprisingly. Yeah, Derby have come up well. Good home form. And they had good home form last season. It looks like they're continuing that, which is good. Sunderland, 4 wins from 4 under the manager I've never heard of before. And they look really good against Sheffield Wednesday. I saw them against them a couple of weeks ago. Who owns Stockport County? It's a Stockport-born man, Mark Stott. He's got a bit of money. That's why we're doing quite well. He's pumped money into the club, and it's, not just on the pitch with the players, but off the pitch as well. We now train at Carrington. The stadium's been done up, and it looks like we're going to increase the capacity of the stadium, which is very exciting. Their rise from non-league to League One has been very impressive. I know, I've watched it all. I started going to Stockport County in 2018 when they were in the National League North, so I have seen all 3 league titles won, and it's been a very, very stressful but worth it journey. It has been absolutely brilliant, and I hope we can go one more, go up to the Championship. I mean, I know I'm asking for a lot, but that'd be absolutely fantastic. But that will be the end of the live commentary here. Make sure you have subscribed and liked if you haven't already. No commentaries for 10 days. I know, a long wait, but I don't cover any of the games during the international break. And for some reason, none of the League 1 and League 2 games are being televised. So I can't commentate. And I would do the EFL Trophy, but Tuesdays is my football night. I play football on Tuesdays. Because if not, I would have done an EFL Trophy game next week. But yeah, Tuesdays is my football night, so unfortunately I can't. So The next commentary is in 10 days, where we'll be covering another League 2 game, Harrogate taking on Doncaster, Thursday, 8 o'clock. And then the 2 weekend games I'll be doing, weekend games, we'll be doing the North London derby, Spurs against Arsenal. That game is on the 15th of September, and then we'll be doing another game on Monday, 2 weeks' time, as Birmingham host Wrexham, two of the teams right up the table in League One. So plenty of commentaries to come up on the channel after the international breaks, including the start of the Champions League as well, which is very, very exciting. But like I say, if you have not already, please like and subscribe. Make sure you are back on this channel after the international break. But other than that, here at the Peninsula Stadium, Salford grabbed their first win of the season after 5 without a win for MK Dons. They fall to another defeat. That's just 1 in 5 for them as well in terms of victories. They were on the wrong side of the result tonight. It's well played for Salford. Their new loan signing of Odoronko was the one to get the winner. And here at the Peninsula Stadium, it finishes Salford City 1, MK Dons 0.